What's going on, my peeps? This is ATC. You know how it is. Adam Talks Cars. This is going to be episode 11 of my show Muffler Delete, where I'm going to talk about whatever I feel like talking about that has to do with cars. And today I wanted to kind of do a part 2, I guess, of one of my previous episodes where I talked about 3 features in the current auto industry that I wasn't a big fan of, that I thought, could be done away with. And so I wanted to continue that. And in this episode, I'm going to give 3 more features that I find quite distasteful or unpleasant to look at, and I think could also be discarded tomorrow and no one would bat an eyelash and most people would be quite pleased. They're not quite as big of a deal to me as the first 3 were in the first episode that I made talking about my 3 issues. Those were 3 things that I definitely had a bigger problem with than I do with these 3 that I'll talk about in this episode, but these still bothered me enough for me to want to make a video about it. And what reminded me of the first one is talking about Hyundai in my previous episode. So I was talking about how the Hyundai Elantra N has a nice steering wheel, but the problem is that the regular Elantra and the new Sonata both have this absolutely atrocious steering wheel with this soft, like, upside down U that's underneath the main body of it. And I don't know, it just looks awkward to hold, and it's just visually so unflattering. Like, if they just gave a normal steering wheel, the regular Elantra and the regular Sonata would both jump up a notch or 2 for me. Like, that's, to me, their main design flaw is in the steering wheel, which seems like such an easy thing to get right, but I guess they didn't. And I'm a big fan of Hyundai, so, for me to acknowledge that these steering wheels are hideous really must mean that they're hideous. I'm surprised more people aren't complaining about the design of these steering wheels, because I'm not with it at all. The next problem, the second issue in design that I've been seeing recently, is when car companies incorporate their sensors for, like, the advanced driving assistance systems, and they incorporate the sensors for those driving assistance systems into the grille or into the logo. The 2 that jump out to me when I think about this is when I saw the new Acura TLX. I think how the logo is part of the sensor, it looks so stupid, and it just draws attention to the sensor by putting the logo on it. And another company that kind of tries to blend in their sensor with the car is Genesis. I know on the G70, and I couldn't guarantee on their other models, but I'm pretty sure that Genesis tries to blend the sensor in to their grille. And I just don't like when car companies try to pretend or fake. Like, anytime a car has a fake vent, it's like, come on, you couldn't think of something better to do in that area? You're better off not putting it there. And that's how I feel about these sensors. Like, just be straight up with me. What's the point of faking it? Just put the sensor somewhere. My dad's car, he has a Alfa Romeo Giulia. The sensors are just on the bottom. They're not trying to pretend to be something else. And the design is way better because of that. If they tried to blend the sensor into the logo, it just wouldn't look right. It would be noticeable, and it would be unpleasant to look at. Other cars that just place the sensors, even the 911, the Porsche 911, the quintessential sports car, the sensors are just on the bottom. They don't try to hide them. They say, all right, these are the sensors. They're clearly sensors at the bottom of the front grille, but they don't try to blend them in and pretend for them to be something else. You look at them, you know they're sensors, and guess what? You think, wow, what a freaking beautiful car. So I don't know what the point is of trying to blend the sensors into the grille or into the logo. I just don't like it. I think it ends up looking dumber than if you just place the sensors somewhere more obvious, honestly. But I could see why people would like it. and would prefer that. I just don't happen to be one of those people, and I happen to really dislike it. So if you're one of those people, throw it in the comments. Let me know. Say, dude, I hate when the sensors look obvious. I'd much rather try to hide it. It is what it is. People have different opinions. But while we're on the topic of grills, since we were talking about Genesis blending in their sensor into the grill, so while we're there, I would like to mention my third current design thing, which I have an issue with, and that would be the overall expansion in general across many brands in the size of grills. The ones that jump out to mind that I would like to particularly call out would be the new BMW 4 Series. I think that car is pretty good looking overall, and the new vertical giant kidney grills are just not doing it for me, and based on what I've seen on the internet, I don't think those grills are doing it for anyone, to be honest. I don't think there's a single person who looks at those grills and is like, wow, BMW really killed it with the design. So the new 4 Series really suffers from grill expansion, and Toyota has it pretty bad too. Avalon, like the whole front of the car is a grill. I just don't see that being necessary. And it's a general trend in the whole industry, but the new 4 Series and the Avalon, I thought were worth mentioning. And you might say that, hey, the new M3 has the same grill as the M4. Why aren't you calling out the M3? And I would say that on the M versions of the cars, it doesn't look as bad, and it kind of fits the more aggressive, sporty, more vents, more lines here and there. Whereas, so I'm not complaining about the grill as much on the M4, but that same size grill is placed onto the regular 4 Series, which is the one that I take the biggest issue with. And the BMW 3 Series doesn't have that larger vertical grill. The current 3 Series has a much more normal grill. Oh, still large compared to the past, but much more normal than on the M3. Yeah, so big grills, ugly steering wheels, and sensors that are pretending to not be sensors. Those are the 3 issues that I got for you today, and I'm sure in another month I'll find 3 more issues with current automotive design that I take enough issue with to post another video about it. Let me know if you agree or disagree. As always, I want to hear people's opinions. I want to know why I'm wrong or why you think I'm wrong. And that's it from me, guys. I will catch you next time. Take it easy.